And we're live.
Welcome back here to another episode of The Corner. And as always, I am thankful for y'all listening. You are my life and bread, our life and bread.
Yeah.
And for sure. So, like today we're going to just like have a laid back episode. It's not going to be anything like super serious we're going to talk about.
Informal.
Informal episode, but instead of like being the kind of asshole that is like sitting here and like saying using 5 minutes on today we're going to talk about, I'm going to say fuck that and let's just roll. Either you listen or you don't.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how it's pretty much always been, but now we're just like explicitly stating it to all you beautiful people out there, beautiful listeners out there. And by the way, before we get started, I actually have something that I'm burning in with, if that's okay, here in the beginning.
Yeah, man. Let it out.
Because I have been reading a lot about the broadcasting in Germany in the early 20s. Because this is part of my bachelor thesis, actually. So naturally, this is what I have to read about. And I have come to realize through all this reading, and I've especially read about a dude called Bertolt Brecht, who was actually kind of a socialist back in the 20s, or actually back in the beginning of the 20th century. Who had a lot of theories about how to make radio and how to make podcasting. Yeah, basically make podcasting. Not those words, but you get the point. How to basically make fucking radio more available to the people, basically.
Radio shows. The first radio show.
Exactly, and that's right? What I actually have to analyze in my thesis. So it's exciting stuff. But then again, of course, right now I'm a little bit of a dead end because like I don't really know how to structure it because. Fuck, man, it has gotten kind of chaotic, and I'm fucking reading left and right in fucking dissertations on, like, there's fucking one dissertation that just fucking lists a bunch of fucking how the fucking broadcast was structured, like politically structured in fucking Germany at this point. And I'm like, fuck, man, this is boring. I don't want to read about this. I want to read about how to make better fucking radio. So I don't know, man. I'm just fucking, I don't know. That's enough about that. I'm just at a dead end right now in that, so I'm just looking forward to meeting my fucking guidance supervisor or whatever the fuck you call it in the bureaucracy of the 21st century.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting to hear from them, to hear how the fuck I will progress in this. And
so like you're like just. I'm just gonna spit this out there. So I'm just visualizing you in front of your guidance guy from school or whatever, right? On your fucking knees, being like, "Give me motivation, you motherfucker!"
Yeah. That's basically it. Well, no, not so much motivation though. It's just actually. It's just like more like the red in Danish we have the term, you probably have that in Norwegian as well, the term den røde tråd, like the red thread, you have to be able to follow a certain golden line all the way through the process, through the task and everything. And I'm just waiting for that to happen because I feel like I'm fucking putting so much energy and thought and brain power into fucking thinking about this task all day long and reading so much bullshit. But I don't feel like I have the fucking focus. But this is not what this is supposed to be about. But like, I just like that's just it's just pretty much what's going on in my life at this point, and I'm fucking kind of getting frustrated because of the Danish bureaucracy. But this no, it's not just the Danish bureaucracy. It's any fucking bureaucracy in the fucking world.
No, I get it. Like, it still has something to do with it because it's about, like, how do you keep one thing like this interesting? Like, let's
Yeah.
compare it to let's compare it to, let's say that what you were doing every day would be to chop down a tree and cut a piece of this tree off and make a plank, right? Like making a perfect plank.
That's a
And
beautiful metaphor. Beautiful metaphor, actually.
yeah, and like how and like this is what, like, just like imagining that you did this every day, right? Like, how many fucking times would this feel interesting? How many times would this feel like fulfilling work? Because I would
Yeah.
assume that, like, after an amount of time, after an amount of planks, you would feel like this was crap. In the beginning, you will, like, probably feel like, like, this would be the
Yeah.
greatest thing ever. You're, like, working with your hands. You're, like, like, using your hands, using your body, and making this, like, perfect,
Yeah.
owning that skill to make the perfect plank, right?
Yeah.
But as the months would go by, as the years would go by, I don't think that you would, like, say the same
By the
shit
way,
after 40 fucking.
feel free to slow down just a tad. Like, I'm not
Yeah,
going.
okay, okay, okay.
Like, actually, I'm not going to interrupt you for the next 2 minutes. So I'm actually going to pull up a countdown timer here and just let you talk about this.
Metaphor, yeah.
This log analogy where
Yeah,
we just chop
yeah,
down the log about this for the next 2 minutes. I'm going to pull up
yeah.
here. You guys can see this on the screen. 2 minutes and 22 seconds exactly, where I will not interrupt him, where he just basically has 2 minutes to say, like, you don't have to
Okay.
talk. You don't have to talk fast. Just fucking talk in your own pace,
Yeah, I will.
man. So
I will. I will.
start from now.
Okay. So what I was, like, saying was that owning this skill, doing this, making that plank from that tree, I would say that, like I said, like, in the beginning, you would feel like this would be the greatest thing of your life. This is interesting. I like to do this, like, my body, my hands, and shit like that. But eventually, as the time would go by, I don't think that you would be able to say after 30 or 40 years, like 4 decades of doing this, that this is the greatest thing ever in your life, because
No.
then you have, like, repeated this task for so many times that it is no longer fun. In order to make it more fun, you would have, like, had to branch out and either, like, make other things with, like, these planks in different sizes, different stuff, or not even planks at all. Maybe you would, like, make tables or something out of these logs that you would be cutting down or making from the wood. But the point is that everything stops being funny or interesting at the point, unless
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
unless you take that thing and you reshape it into something else that is fun. That is the only thing. That's the only way that you can make that one thing continuing to be interesting, and developing that. It's the same also, like, with jobs or
Yeah.
any kind of jobs. You would start to grow tired of it after a while, unless it, like, it's your one true calling in life or something. But I don't know. Like, I have never, like, once met in my jobs a guy in the warehouse that has been like, I've been a forklift operator for 40 years and it's the greatest job ever. No, I haven't. What these old timers that I
Yeah.
work with that has done that job for so long time is, like, saying. They are saying stuff like, instead stuff like, only 5 years left to retirement. Only
Yeah.
2 years left to retirement. And if you're that person that is like looking forward to your retirement,
Yeah,
or rather counting down on your watch,
yeah,
then
yeah.
then you should rather be like thinking, is this for me or should I do something else? And it doesn't fucking matter if you are 30 or you are 60. You could still do. And
Yeah, and
that's
I'm pretty sure as he's lagging out right now. I'm pretty sure you
yeah.
guys could just see. I could easily have put 5 minutes on the clock instead, because once you get talking about something that's really important to you, and this is like also what I want this
Yeah.
tonight's episode to be, is like talking a little bit of psychology as well, because like we as humans need to express ourselves sometimes, and I will get to answer to respond to this, of course, because that's another thing that's essential to us as humans. Our need is to talk. Like, we need to talk about stuff, and if we don't, we implode.
Yeah.
We go insane, basically. A person that is isolated and can't talk about whatever is on his mind will go insane, will fucking kill himself, or will just fucking degrade in the end, like in his own home or something like that. You need to be able to express yourself to someone else.
It's interesting that you mentioned it, because I remember reading about this, where some prisoner was like isolated for years in some Russian gulag prison or some shit,
But,
right?
before we get into that, you want me to respond to the log analogy, to
Yeah,
the
yeah, 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 yeah. What's
uh,
your response to the log analogy? Yeah,
yeah, I think there is a lot of, and I'm going to actually start the timer here on 2 minutes again, even though I don't think I'm going to use 2 minutes, but I'm just going to like take a little bit of time now, without interruptions. So I think there is a lot of truth to your, like, the fact that when you are in that job and you cut down trees and you walk on the land and you plow the farm and all that stuff, there can be a lot of good. Actually, I've tried it myself, because I had 1 week a few years ago when I was also working. I was working for my uncle, actually, in Germany, and I was basically just supposed to clean up some fucking logs after a storm. Basically, yeah, that was what I had to do, because there was a storm that had tipped over a bunch of logs, or tipped over a bunch of trees, and they were like lying all there, and my uncle had cut them all into pieces, and they were just laying all over the place, and he needed someone to transport them away. And I, at the time, wasn't doing anything, and he thought, this is a good opportunity to actually make Alexander, make Troy, or whatever you want to call me, make Alexander do something that so that he can feel productive. And I started collecting all these tree trunks, just transporting them away, and it was just for a week that I did it, of course. But it actually, I didn't get sick of it one day of that week. And I don't know if that was just because it was just 1 week, but it was actually as fulfilling the first day as it was the last day. And I think it all comes down to, before I run out of time here, it all comes down to one thing: are you doing it at your own pace? Basically, because of course you can get tired of it if you're pushed too fast, if you have to do it faster than you are comfortable with. And now you can respond because I'm already out of time.
Okay. Well, of course, and also that you have the feeling that you're mastering it.
Yeah.
Like if your grandfather was coming there, like say every 15th minute or every half
My
hour, and saying, or your uncle,
uncle, yeah.
sorry, and saying, hey, Alexander, you're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong.
Yeah, but that's the point. He
Then
didn't do that. He
that
didn't do
this
that.
that, no, but if it did that, then that mastering feeling would go away.
Yeah,
It would go away, and you wouldn't feel like it was as fulfilling work as it was. So that's also something that has like a lot to do with it. And like I don't know, but lately I have like started to feel like unless you're feeling this mastering feeling from day one, it's
Yeah.
not the place. And it's not the place. If you don't feel that mastering feeling from day one, maybe like a little longer, but still, if you don't feel that mastering feeling from the beginning, then it's not the place.
Yeah.
Not necessarily the job or what you're doing, but the feeling. The feeling
Yeah.
needs to be there,
And
right?
I think that a lot of companies nowadays, a lot of bosses nowadays have a very widespread tendency to step in and do these. In Denmark we have them to these, what do you call,
Micromanaging, yeah.
medarbejderudviklingssamtaler, these employee development conversations where it's actually a ridiculous concept to an American ear, because I don't think they have that over there. It's these things where your boss wants to check up that you're always developing, that you're going places, that you're always aiming for the fucking roof, that you're always fucking in movement to somewhere, that you're not fucking... But what they're not realizing, though, is that there is no way that you can fucking stand still, because as long as you're employed, you will always show up. Unless you're like going on sick leave for months, but that's another issue. Like an employee who just shows up every month, he doesn't need these fucking employee conversations.
No, I agree. That, and that's something that is highly underrated. That's loyalty.
Yeah,
you showing up every fucking day at the time. Yeah.
And there you need to be able to make better distinction between people who actually stay home from work because they fake being sick, or because they are sick, or whatever the fuck. But people who stay home, that's one group. And people who actually show up but might not work to your satisfaction. That's two different fucking people. Two different fucking people, in my opinion.
It is. I totally agree with you. Another thing that like a lot of like workplaces and stuff do is that they don't tolerate you if you are not an extrovert person. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like.
Because they are very quick to also misinterpret things that you might say in a, like, just because of your fucking body language. I mean, that's what I often fucking experience as well in my family and in like people that I meet, where I'm sitting and I'm maybe like fucking looking at someone in a way that might be a little what others would consider creepy, and they're like immediately going to so what is it that you do? How many millions have you made last month?
yeah I get it.
Just to put it on the fucking iceberg there.
And
I mean, like,
I saw like a beautiful commercial regarding this on a movie theater in Norway a year back or so, where it was like regarding hiring people, right? And saying that a lot of people are like hiring extrovert persons that love to talk to other people and stuff like this, right? And then the
Yeah.
camera shoots to, like some guy standing at a workplace, a cubicle workplace, at the coffee machine, talking with like, like five other guys around him, right?
Yeah.
And then the camera turns around and focuses on the dude who's like sitting working by himself with his headphones on, and like just diving straight into the work on like whatever work he's doing on the computer. And then the text shows, why not hire anyone that's introvert, stating that the introvert person just as hard, if not harder, than the extrovert person, because he's not working to prove himself in any way. He's working to own his work, his skill.
Yeah. Yeah.
If you can follow me, right? But yeah, this is something that's like going on, and then there's also the fact that it is becoming increasingly more difficult to get jobs because of the competition that we have talked about,
Yeah.
and the level of people, how many people they have to choose from. And this is why you typically see shit in job ads that you must have 5+ years of work experience in this area, as that.
As that, yeah, it was just lagging there a bit.
Yeah,
That's fine.
I'm sorry. Did it go through?
No,
And
no,
that you have
not quite. Just repeat it.
that you have to have that kind of like degree, and these skills and so on, right? And it just won't make you get the job because you don't have the experience, you don't have skill, you don't have that degree. If you
Yeah,
follow.
yeah, it's true. No, I was just writing down here some things that I wanted to address as well. Two things. I can start with the first one. This extrovert and introvert thing that you mentioned. Like that's actually. And I've also read articles about this and actually dissertations as well. Yeah, believe it or not, in my bachelor thesis, I have been out reading dissertations about this, even though it has nothing to do with my fucking radio topic. But yeah, I read about this this extrovert versus introvert thing. That's just a fucking label, though. It's just a modern thing to like in Denmark we have these other words for it, which is called inadvent and udadvent. Inadvent,
Yeah.
udadvent.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about. So like
Yeah, I
you
know
are
what you're talking
out.
about.
Yeah. Basically in English that would be outgoing and ingoing. And extrovert and introvert is just basically new terms for this. And like today it's like there's all these tests that try to fucking prove, are you one or are you the other? And if you're introvert, then you must sit inside and be a nerd and like so basically eliminating the possibility for introverts to also have extrovert characteristics. Because it is like our society today is just a fucking black and white. It's just like there's no fucking space for nuances anymore. It's just like either you're black or either you're white. There's not like, sure, maybe we have more introvert characteristics. But hell, man, I can be a fucking extrovert as well. Just fucking pour some liquor into me, put me on the dance floor in Aarhus City, and I will be any extrovert you fucking want. Like, fuck, man. It is a very fucking gray zone, if you ask me.
It's not just that though. It's also like how good you are at like gathering crowds around you and making yourself interesting and getting people to listen to what you were saying, which is like one of the things that
Yeah, but
makes the politicians that succeed.
but that's not the
So
that's not the definition
no,
of an
I know,
extrovert.
I know that's not the definition of an extrovert, but that's what society looks as the definition of an extrovert. So at any like workplace or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like
it is.
that,
It is.
if you couldn't do that, then they would just instantly label you, unless you could do that, or you were some loud ass motherfucker who would like bust through the door and be like, "Hey, here's Tulstrup," and you like make a fucking statement every time you come in the door or some shit like that, then you would be labeled an introvert. You're seeing that more times than one, man.
But yeah, of course. And I'm trying not to interrupt here, just to like keep this natural flow of speech here. But the point is that this is just one characteristic of an extrovert. This guy that comes in and yells loud into the room, "Yeah, see me." That's one. That's one fucking characteristic of being an extrovert. There is tons other, and also this guy who does this, he might be a fucking smoker and smoke marijuana, and I would fucking say that is a very introvert fucking characteristic. So you see, this guy who does that also have a lot of introvert characteristics as well. So my point is, you can't fucking label it to one side, man.
That's what society is doing. Same as what we talked about earlier today, or chatted about earlier today, with that you're either unemployed, working yourself to death, or you ain't nothing.
But you're wrong. And I'm saying you're wrong now, because right now you represent society, and right now I'm fucking holding up the biggest fuck finger to society right now, to you, and because you represent society right now. Because you're wrong. You are fucking factually wrong. Society, you are wrong. Because you can't put a fucking extrovert label on it. You can't put an introvert label on a person. It is much, much more complicated than that. And I hope there is people listening to this, because I want this to be very, very clear. And I know you're sighing right now because I'm getting off on a rant here, but this is important. This is fucking important.
Yeah, it is.
Fucking agree with me, man.
Like, I am agreeing with you. I'm agreeing with you.
Good.
But the problem is that society will never agree with you, because society does what society does best. They judge, they hate, they show prejudice.
But
and they follow what the biggest groups are doing. Right.
But again, society is just an expression to like a term that covers humans, that covers the humans in it. Which means in order to change how society thinks, we need to start with the humans. That means whoever is fucking listening to this, that is a small fucking step, but that is still a step that can change society if you think about it. So if we can just fucking make whoever is listening to this fucking realize that there is more to extrovert and introvert, that is a very tiny step, but a step nonetheless to changing the fucking world and teaching people about this. And I take great fucking comfort in that, actually. I take that is actually what to get back to this fucking thing that we talked about. What is passion? That is passion for me. Like, taking fucking, when I come to those conclusions, that's where I take my energy from. And I know you probably don't feel the same way, but that's where I take my fucking strength from.
Well, I gotta hand it to you, man. You have more faith. What? Can you put it on pause for a minute because it's going to be loud here for a minute?
Okay.
Put it on pause. Yeah. Is it paused?
Yeah, it is.
Hallo? Hva skal dere? Å ja. Jeg sitter bare her oppe og snakker med Ja. Vi spiller sjakk. Chess.
What the fuck,
You
man?
can send me a link, by the way.
Don't lie! Don't fucking lie!
Okay.
Tell her that.
Okay. Okay, we are not playing chess. We're making a podcast.
You need to fucking stand your ground, man.
Yeah. Nei.
Can I say hi to Mybrit?
No, they are downstairs.
What the fuck is she yelling up to you?
Well, because this is a Yeti mic, man, and it captures that.
Yeah, but why the that
Yeah?
that was not the question. Why the fuck?
Yeah, you're the...
What?
She's talking to the dog.
What is the dog's name again?
Max.
Max. Interesting.
Alright.
Interesting.
How are we on time? How are we on time, by the way?
30 minutes.
Alright. That's nice. And then what, we'll go to 40, 45?
Yeah, or however long. Fuck it. It's not like it fills that much in my stationery. I figured out that OBS files are actually not that heavy even in MP4. They only
No, they're not.
They take up
like
fucking
first
1 gig,
was
1 gig,
heavy.
1 gig for 1 hour almost.
At first, it takes up like heavy space if you decide to run it through fucking Sony Vega and render it into 4K.
Yeah.
That's when it takes up. That's when it takes up space.
Yeah, well, I'm not doing that. Because first of all, there's no fucking need to do that.
Yeah.
But you know that's another example of people just doing stuff. And I know, yeah, I mean, like this is a little bit of an attack on you, but this is like people just doing stuff because society thinks this is cool, 4K. So I'm without fucking checking out what it actually is.
No, I've stopped doing it too. Like if I'm recording with OBS, then it just goes up on YouTube. Then it just goes up on YouTube like 5 minutes later.
Because, yeah, sure, you can upload in 4K, but then you also have to be able to answer the question, what is 4K?
It is, let me just type that in right now. What 4K is. Okay, 4K resolution refers to horizontal display resolution of approximately 4,000 pixels. Digital television and digital cinematography commonly use several different 4K resolutions. In television and consumer media, 3840 times 2160 is 4K UHD is the dominant 4K standard, whereas the movie projection industry uses 4096 times 2160 DCI 4K. Yeah, that's it.
What? Repeat the last line, please.
The movie projection industry uses 4096 times 2160, which is the definition of DCI. 4K.
Yeah, the movie industry, but
Uh,
does it say anything about home screens? Like,
by 2020, more than half of US households are expected to have 4K capable TVs. A much faster adoption rate than that of full HD.
so
You know,
that
like
means okay. So that means by the off chance of our videos being viewed in 20, what was it?
2020, by the end of 2020.
By the end of 2020, you'll want that to be 4K, assuming that anyone is fucking watching it, which is not going to happen because nobody is going to sit and watch for 1 hour on a whiskey bottle logo that says talking with various people about various subjects.
Well, okay, here's what you do, man. You just get like a 4K webcam and you stick that into the fucking roof, pointing down on you from the side. And then I'll do the same, and then they'll see us both like sitting in our fucking gym shorts drinking bourbon.
Well, I'm actually proper dressed, believe it or not, because, right now. But yeah. Well, not in a suit, just in a normal, good old, good old sweater and normal pants. Yeah. Even a belt. I'm even wearing a belt right now.
Okay, man. Shall we get to it again? So, because like I gotta get up like early since Tor typically wakes up at 6:30.
Oh yeah. So it just started whenever.
Yeah. All right. Where were we? What was the last thing I said?
No, actually, I can just start it with. Yeah, you.
What was the last thing I said?
I don't actually remember.
I think it's okay. I'll just like kind of continue with like some society stuff.
Oh yeah, there was this discussion between extroverts and introvert, and that this is just a label, basically.
Yeah.
All right, so we're back here again. Talking.
Yeah. So so like what I was like saying was that like that society's projection and how society views you, like it's completely off. Completely off.
Yeah.
Like how judgmental society has become, how humans have become. And this is like also part of the reason how the shit America has like managed to become so split as it has become now.
Yeah, you can,
right.
You can see that with the election and.
And like how many super hate groups has like emerged through these like riots and stuff. And like I'm sorry like for saying stuff. I need to like stop and get rid of that habit there. But like how many like bad groups have like emerged from all this? Like you have like the Proud Boys and other factions supporting the right wing and white nationalism, and Trump has also gone out like openly supporting white nationalism. You know that, right? Because like, these are the people that he wants to reach out to. These are the people that he wants to elect him into power.
And I talked about this with one of my brother's friends actually the other day when I met him at university. That the problem with politics these days is the radicalization and extremism that is going on everywhere, not just in the US, but also you also got it in Germany with the AfD, Alternative für Deutschland, those fucking extreme rights, and you got it. You probably even have it somewhere in Denmark as well. With Liberal Alliance, fucking those people, man, they got some screwed up views as well. But even though it's not as radical as in Germany and in the US, but still, it's a problem when people get so extreme to either the extreme left or the extreme right and have these really fanatic views. That's always a fucking problem. Because that's when people get like, nope, I don't want to listen to you. I am right, and I'm going to triumph through my fucking views, no matter what you say. And that's when we get back to this fucking monarchy where there was fucking one king who was saying basically the same thing, and it was like, no, I'm going to get my laws through. Don't want to debate, don't want to discuss. I will do this.
And anyone that disobeys will get their head chopped off.
Yeah, exactly. And
yeah, man.
And even in the debates these days, that is also like when I watch the vice presidential debate, people are not laying out facts. I mean, Kamala Harris did lay out facts more than Mike Pence did, but still there was a lot of what you call mudderkastning in Denmark, like just throwing mud forth and back.
Did you see the debate between Trump and Biden?
No, I didn't have time for it. I thought it was canceled too.
That was the first debate.
Oh, the first debate, yeah.
That was almost absolutely zero fact. That was just shit throwing and mud tossing from both parties. Yeah. And Trump talking in the mouth of Biden, and Biden saying back, "Will you shut up, man?"
Yeah, fucking radical extremist fucking views that are just like all about attacking the other side with whatever crap they can find on them. And I mean, like, that's just sickening. That's also the reason why I don't watch it anymore.
I find it, I would have loved to see how a presidential debate and how all this went down in the 1850s.
Yeah. Fuck, man.
Because I would think that, like back then, it was way more sophisticated than what it is today. Like,
probably.
I don't think that presidential debate with Abe Lincoln would have been like, "Will you shut up, man? You ain't shit. Who got your back, man?"
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it would be like way more on point, and because also in those times they were a hell of a lot more connected to the people. Since you didn't have TV broadcasting, they would have to show up in person, talk to the people in person, have these debates in person in front of people, and also allowing people, any average Joe, to their opinion.
Yeah, just
actually,
I just pulled up here for you guys who are watching the 1852 United States presidential election between Franklin Pierce and Winfield Scott. And it doesn't really say who's the winner here, does it? Running mate, blah, 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 home state. Let me just see, popular vote. Oh, yeah, okay, so it was Franklin Pierce from the Democratic Party who actually won, and then Winfield Scott from the Whig Party. And yes, I just said Whig, with which is WHIG, that is actually a party from 1850. That was little less membership than the Democratic Party. Don't know what they actually were for. From New Jersey, it says here. But yeah, just some interesting facts here from those people. It doesn't really say how they were putting out the debate. But yeah, just definitely interesting to see some historical facts here.
Yeah. No, but still, like, you know, like I can't help but think that it has to have been more sophisticated, and it's one of the things that has actually devolved into what you're like seeing today. And like instead of like being something serious, it seems like, you know, like the presidential debates in 2020 has been reduced to some kind of like mad dog event, like saying, you know, just like saying, come to the arena and octagon and watch Mad Dog versus Top Gun or Machine Gun.
Yeah.
That this has become the presidential debate in 2020.
It's gonna end.
It's hilarious.
It's gonna end like the president in Idiocracy, basically. The guy who's just a black fucking boxer standing
President Camacho.
Yeah. I was just hyping up the fucking population and just being like, I got a gun! I take the power! Oh man. Fuck.
That's how it's gonna end, yeah. Pretty much. Welcome to the United States.
I don't actually know what I wanted to say. No. I wanted to.
No, I don't either. Is there any like final? Are we already on the final words?
No.
Of the podcast, or no? Okay.
Oh, actually, we're already on 40 minutes. But yeah, like maybe I'll just cut this out.
Now, like, what do you think? What do you think the future will bring, man? And what do you want to pursue?
Hold on, I'll just actually pause it here for a minute. What do you think the future will bring? And then what else was it? Fuck, man. What was it?
Okay, I have something I want to say.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
When you started.
Okay. Yeah, here you go.
Okay, are you live? Live again?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So before you answer that question that I asked, then I just found this. Like the Lincoln Douglas debates, which was for the U.S. Senate, and I'm reading off like Wikipedia, where it states that the series was of 7 debates in 1858 between Abraham Lincoln and Senator Stephen A. Douglas for U.S. Senate. And these debates were true face-to-face debates with no moderator. The candidates took it in turns to open each debate with a 1-hour speech. Then the other candidate had an hour and a half to rebut. And finally, the first candidate closed the debate with a half-hour response. Which, like if you put that together, then like they were both given the exact same amount of time, right? And Douglas was later re-elected to Senate by Illinois legislator. Lincoln and Douglas were both nominated for president in 1860 by the Republicans and Northern Democrats, respectively. And the earlier debates helped define their respective positions in that election, but they did not meet for debates during the campaign. But still, man, it was like way more sophisticated if you think about that they were given an hour each, actually an hour and a half to each, an hour and a half each for talking and making their points.
I mean, nowadays you only have like you only have that time for everything. Like that's the entire debate if you think about it.
Yeah. And here they were given 90 minutes for 7 debates.
Yeah, for each. And today you have to blast through like 20 topics or whatever the fuck it is in 90 minutes. And that's both views on this in 90 minutes. That's both the Republican and the Democratic views. And that leads actually to the point that I wrote down before I took a break there. The reason for why we have this abbreviated and shallow debate form in the 21st century, which is, I think, that nobody has time to fucking read up on things anymore, which is ironic actually because we are 7 billion people. So shouldn't that mean that we have more manpower to read up on things?
Yeah, it should.
But the opposite is the fucking truth. We're actually more shallow and have less time.
Did you also like bite Mark in that there was no moderator during the debates? Like they had that respect for each other.
Oh yeah. True. But now they just bite each other's fucking. But now they bite each other's tails off.
Yeah.
I mean, metaphorically.
No respect for each other at all.
No.
At all, man. Hey, like, and also that.
And look at us. We're sorry, but look at us. No. We're even better because we don't have a moderator. We're just fucking listening to each other. And yes, of course, we do occasionally interrupt each other, but still, we know when the fucking other person is speaking. So we're fucking better than the American presidential debate.
And we are far from Neil deGrasse Tyson on the latest Joe Rogan podcast that was continuously interrupting Joe.
Yeah, but I would say even they are better than the presidential election because you think about fucking Mike Pence, who is just continuously speaking over Kamala Harris and the fucking moderator, even though she was saying, Pence, Mr. Pence, please slow down. We have to move on. And he just kept fucking going for 10, 20, 30 seconds.
Stall biding his time, man.
And I
Needs to-
know
yeah.
this is because the political fucking agenda, because it's more important to fucking win the election probably now, but still, man, fuck, man, it's not that fucking important. Jesus Christ,
No.
man.
Of course not. So no, like this is like something that they should have kept. They should have kept the honesty and the respective way of doing these debates. But
Yeah.
they chose not to. And instead, they chose to, just devolve it into some kind of media circus that has no place in politics.
And I think also what would it be better? I don't know. Did it say that in the wiki entry that how many topics they were discussing?
No, it was like very, very little information.
Yeah, because that's also one thing
Uh,
that I would love to that I would love to have changed in the debates today is the amount of topics. Like, why the fuck do they have to blast through 20? Why not make 20 presidential debates and then just discuss one topic over 90 minutes instead of fucking blasting through so much shit? Because like you can't even fucking get to the bottom of all these topics in 90 minutes. So why the fuck not just
I can't.
I mean, what the fuck, man? I mean, people who are interested in politics, they will see 20 debates on 20 different topics instead of just fucking one. I mean, I don't know, man.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Like it's a media circus. Then they want this out, like to for everybody to watch, and then hopefully the one that looks coolest, I guess, is the one that they think will win.
Yeah. But
and then like not about facts, about how it looks.
Yeah, exactly.
Not about facts, how it looks. Right. All right. I think that was it for this.
Yeah, there was
the corner, man. If that's all right with you.
There was one more question that you even asked, which was what will the future bring?
Yeah. What do you think the future will bring?
Like what in regards to what?
Like in general, in aspect of how people in society will evolve or devolve, and what's going to happen in general.
Well, like I don't really know what like, because I'm like right now I'm just considering whether you will hold this against me because of something I said earlier. But nah, fuck that, man. I'm just going to like answer freely, just out of my mindset right now, not considering what I've previously said or may have said or whatever the fuck. So, nah, man, right now, what I think in my mindset in this very second, the 15th of October 2020, 22:25 p.m. is that pretty much the world will just move on. The world will just stay the world, and the humanity will not die out. There will always be some humans that will find a way to organize themselves. So I don't think we need to worry about extinction if that's what you want to get at.
No, that's not what I wanted to get at. I wanted to get at, let me rephrase it. Do you think people in general will become more ignorant? More ignorant to the world around them and indifferent, basically, like seeing it going in the direction it is going now, with like prejudice and opinions and in those areas.
Yeah, sadly, yes, I think so. Sadly,
Yeah.
I think that is because, and I have like I've actually for a while now, for 2 or 3 years, I've had the theory that the reason for this is the amount of screens that is in our society.
For sure.
Computer screens, cell phones. What have we? We have fucking iPads. We all these fucking things that we look at instead of looking at each other. That is what fucking at the end of the day isolates us, but it's just like a metaphor, of course, for this invisible force that I've called it before, which is the fucking data thing, the Google, like everything that is like this virtual online personality that we all have that is hiding us in a virtual world, basically, of data online. And to represent that, I just took that example, the screens, because the screens represent all that. That we as humans are just reduced to data, which like is just very, very neat actually in a way, but that neatness also makes us disregard the real world. It makes us ignore the real world. If that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
It sure does.
And in my opinion, that is a very sad reality, but I also don't really have any solutions how we can escape that. Because it is like the Matrix, actually. We can't get out of it because it's all around us. It's this fucking invisible force that's keeping us chained up.
It is.
So I don't have any solutions, man.
Nah, me neither. Well, I guess that was it, man, for this episode then. And like we are thankful for all you guys watching.
Yeah, although that was a very dystopic message to end it on. So I'm just okay. Going to fucking put a laugh in here. No, seriously. No, seriously. I'm like, fuck, man. I'm an optimist. I'm a fucking optimist. I know this is. I'm not kidding you right now. I want to be optimistic about the future. I want to. So yeah, fucking yeah. In all fucking serious, man, I am fucking encouraging you guys. When you fucking meet another person out there, fucking just say hi to them. Just say hi to a random stranger when you fucking go outside your door. Because that, I truly believe, even though however naive it may seem, just fucking do it. And I truly believe if enough people do it, we can fucking smash our fucking computer screens to death and fucking start a peaceful revolution. Yeah, that's what I fucking believe. That's how optimistic I am, even though that may seem naive. So yeah.
All right, then. Well, thank you all guys for listening, and I hope you enjoyed it and that you will hit that subscribe button and support channel.